Good Saturday morning, YouTube. I hope y'all are doing okay and staying safe and staying healthy. So today is going to be an exceptionally awesome day. I've been talking about this for like 6 months now. I'm finally gonna have time to get it done. What am I talking about? Well, those of you that have followed my channel since the start, you know I've been wanting to lift the Wolverine. I've had the lift kit for like 6 months. Those of you who know I sank it, so it spent 3 months in the shop. But I have it back. We put some miles on it, so now I have some time. It's a gorgeous Saturday morning here in southeastern North Carolina. So we're going to put a freaking lift kit on. Now what I'm going to do first is measure the clearance from the top of my rack bar to the top of my shop. As long as I can clear an extra 3 or 4 inches and it'll still fit in the shop just fine, then I'll be just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and break out the tape measure, get the Wolverine started, get it to its highest point, see where I'm at, and we'll go from there. So I'll catch y'all in just a second. Good news. So at its highest point, which is really right here, which actually works out well because the bar, the rear bar, I still have a good bit of clearance. Now, if for some reason, worst case scenario, I would still have about 6 to 8 inches of clearance. Now, this lift is a 3-inch lift, but you always got to remember the specs of the lift don't necessarily line up with the specs of what actually the change in the height of the vehicle. So I'm figuring about 4 inches. Now, it may be a full-on honest 3-inch lift, but I'm gonna figure on 4 inches and go from there. So let's get it in front of the garage and get after it. All right, so we're here in the garage. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and go through my instruction kit. Yeah, I know, instructions, okay. And I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna put all my parts in order from start to finish. That way I just can go one step after another and not go searching. Because all these spacers are labeled, like for instance, they're all labeled on here. Like that. So I just want to be able to go through and just know where my parts are and just one after another. It says, get some stuff done, stop, go find a part. Get some more stuff done, stop, go find a part. I just want to have it all laid in order. Is it going to work? I don't know. But let's give it a shot. All right, so I got everything lined up, right? Basically just follow the diagram that Highlifter gives you. The only thing I won't be installing today is that because I'm still waiting on Twain County Motorsports to actually send me the tailgate that they owe me. So working on that. So basically just line everything up exactly as I have it. I have my zip ties over there. And I recommend doing this just so you're not having to stop and find parts. You kind of have everything listed. And I'm probably going to actually rip that page. Well, no, I'm not going to rip the page out. So I guess I'll go ahead and grab my jack and we'll get this party started. All right, so I kind of just want to stop here and show you what I'm doing. The first step of this process is to get these clamps off so you can install basically rack and pinion spacers. What I found worked best was just kind of getting in there with a pair of flathead and basically just trying to pry it off. Now they do provide you with zip ties you can use to secure the boots back on. If you want to use, you know, hose clamps or whatever, that'd probably work too. But I just want to kind of show you. Ooh, ow, fuck. All right, that hurt. There you go. So it went ahead and popped off for me. So just kind of a quick tip for you. All right, so the next step is to disconnect the top of the shock from the frame. This is a 17 mil inside facing. That is going to be, I think, a 15 or a 16 millimeter outside facing. So I'm going to go ahead and get both sides busted off. All right, first side's off. Now I'm just going to wash, rinse, and repeat for the next side. All right, so unless mine's just set up weird, you will have to remove or at least move the voltage regulator. There is just not enough space to get that bad boy in there. So I could probably force it. I just don't really want to. So let me go ahead and get that moved and we'll get that new bracket over here. All right, so I have at this point gone ahead and pulled my wheels and tires off just for the sake of being able to pull the shock back and out of your way. Next step is to go ahead and take a 10 by 70 and slide it through the shock mount hole, lining it up with the bracket. Step is to take the 4Y spacers and put them between your original shock mounts. Okay, at this point you install the smaller bracket, running your bolt and spacer through, loosely fastening with a 10 millimeter nut on the end there. Next step, grab yourself another 10 by 70 bolt, a 10 millimeter lock nut, and a 9Y spacer and put it in. do it on each side. Next step is to install a third 10x70 bolt, 9Y spacer, and 10mm nut towards the outside, but not all the way outside of your front spacers or your front brackets. All right, this is gonna fight you a little bit. What I found worked best is go ahead and get your bolt started, push your shock all the way back so it kind of wants to sit in this spot, and then get a hammer and kind of make it sit where you want it to. Keep in mind you do need bolt, two washers, nut. So this one will fight you. It's not a whole bunch of fun. Okay, so once you've got your shock installed with your washers where they need to be, go ahead and grab you a 17mm wrench and socket and get to tightening everything. 8 different bolts. Oh, by the way, that master cylinder is just in the right spot where you need a ratchet, or if you're lucky enough, I don't have one, a Milwaukee or other ratcheting wrench, electric, battery powered, or air powered, but that isn't a wrong spot for an impact gun. All right, and then lastly, go ahead and bolt your wheels and tires on, which is going to destroy you because it's no fun at all. And there's a squatted Wolverine. Some of you California, North Carolina boys are going crazy over this. No offense. Just a joke. It's okay. There you go. So there's a 3-inch lift in the front. Let's get the back done. Next step, go ahead and unbolt your rear shocks and get them out of the way. So I skipped forward 2 steps here, but go ahead and grab your big 41 L and R brackets, get them installed. You can temporarily hold them at the 12x75mm bolt. Go ahead and run your 10x25 bolt in through the frame. Get it set with a lock nut inside. All right, so once you've got your top spacer installed, your bottom spacer installed, all your lock nuts on, go ahead and pull your tires off. We're gonna mount them shocks. And there you have it, friends. A 3-inch Highlifter lift kit Wolverine. Took me roughly 2 hours to install, but I did take my time with it. Make sure I followed the instructions, did it step by step. You need a very basic set of tools. A couple of jack stands, jack, a generic set of impact sockets if you're going to use impact, which I did. A very generic set of millimeter metric sockets, a ratchet, and some dirty hands. And that's it for the build. Now I'm probably gonna go ahead and pick all my tools up, clean up a little bit. I'm gonna take this thing for a spin, see how it rides. I'll take y'all with me, probably put the GoPro on, see what we got to go on, all right? Not a bad install. If you have any knowledge of tools and stuff whatsoever, you can do this in your own home, or well, your own garage. So there you go. No, I didn't want to record that. I was just basically wanting to go make sure I didn't leave anything loose, and I didn't. I just went and took it down a little dirt road down here by the house, and it did just fine. But guys, listen, I think it was 169 bucks is all I paid for it, and it was Amazon free shipping, so I got it in like 2 or 3 days. It was nice. I would have loved to have had it installed a while ago, but well, you know, shit happens. So anyway, like I said, it's a really super easy install. I highly recommend it. I think it changed the look completely. Here, I'll do a little walk around. Got a lot more space between the top of the fender and the front tire. I didn't get as much space as I was hoping to in the back. It really didn't change a whole lot. So I don't know what size tires I can run, but I guess I don't know. I have to work on that and do some thinking. I wanted to go to 30s. I could probably clear 30s. I don't know yet, but I'll work on that and think about maybe I get some spacers or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but guys, it just looks mean. And I don't have a lot of articulation on the CV shafts like I thought I would. It's really not that bad. So I'm not too upset about the front. Now the back has a lot of CV articulation. Still, there again, not as much as I was expecting. You see it right there. It's not terrible. Okay, it's not bad. So I recommend it. Like I said, it's a Highlifter lift, so it's going to be good quality. And it just makes the side-by-side look really, really good in my opinion. So if you have any questions about this lift kit or how I did it or what all you need to do it, hit me up in the comments down below. I answer every comment unless it's spam, obviously. But just hit me up and let me know. Anyway, guys, nice, easy video. Beautiful day out here. I'm going to go enjoy it. Maybe go load up and go ride. We'll see. Other than that, y'all stay safe. Much love.